Hello and welcome to Eat the Damn Cake. I'm Carly.
I'm Maddie.
And we are at episode 50.
Are we?
Yes. It is episode 50, right? Yeah.
That's
Holy shit.
We are Eat the Damn Cake podcast, by the way.
I said that. Welcome to Eat the Damn Cake.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know where my brain's at today.
It ain't here.
52 weeks in a year, so we are almost at our year anniversary.
We've hit it. It was in mid-October.
Well, no. I mean like a year of podcasts, because we might have hit the day that we started recording, but we also didn't launch 2 of the first podcasts, and we've taken weeks off. So if you sum up all of the weeks of our podcast so far.
Got it. 2 more weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy.
If I sound a little hoarse to you today, I'm a little phlegmy. I got a little cold going on.
You're a little horse?
A little horse. I'm a little horse. I'm a little baby pony. No, but I am a little phlegmy. I have a cold and it sucks. And I forgot what it's like to like be sick, but you know what I mean? Like I haven't been sick in years.
Yeah.
Because our immune systems were like babied for the past 2 years, like wearing masks all the time. And so now I like got hit pretty freaking hard with a cold and it sucks.
Yeah. Colds are not the best, but
if this is your first time listening, by the way. I'm Carly. She's Maddie.
We already said that.
You know what? It's fine.
We are a health at all sizes podcast and also trying to make the fitness industry more inclusive. So we'll talk about fitness trends. We'll talk about diet trends and diet culture and how toxic it is, as well as just a little bit of everything. We talk about a lot of our
personal lives.
So basically we say it's a lifestyle podcast, aka our lives on a podcast.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, last week we talked about how Nick left a jar of pickles on the counter just for fun, expired pickles. And if you don't understand the reference, just go to last week's episode. Nick never, ever listens. When I tell you, I asked him, like, right when we first started recording, I was like, it means a lot to me if you listen to our podcast. And now we're at episode 50. And I think he's probably listened to a handful, like maybe 5 or 6. He walks in the door last Tuesday after it came out. And he's like, so I had to give it a listen because I heard there was a lot of slander going on. I'm like, oh, that's funny. Who told you that? He's like, well, I'm not going to reveal my source. He was like, but I gave it a listen. He's like, way to expose me. And I was like, it was weird. What you did was weird. Like,
who exposed him?
I don't know. I still don't know who told him.
Wow.
But he did see that I posted a photo of the jar of pickles on Eat the Damn Cake, and he DM'd Eat the Damn Cake and was like, throw them away. And I was like, I already did, but like, I couldn't handle it. I know I said I was going to leave them, but I promise you all, if I hadn't posted that picture, they would have sat there for a week.
Yeah, they would.
At least.
Yeah.
Like, and he was like, I didn't put them behind the paper towel roll. And I promise you, the photo, you can explicitly see the paper towels in front of it. So we got our first most recent listen from Nick. So I guess I need to censor what I say now.
Yes.
About him.
My dad like said to Joe, he's like, did you listen to Carly's or the episode last week? And Joe was like, no, why? My dad's like, I don't think she was very happy with you.
Yeah, last week there was a lot of Joe slander too.
There was, yeah.
Every breath Carly was, you know what? And he did this. And he did that.
I'm one of those people, and I was actually saying this yesterday to Joe because I was ranting about something literally unrelated to my life. But once I get it off my chest and I'm like, say everything that's on my mind that could possibly be said, then I'm done. But I need to do that first, and then I won't think about it and I won't bring it up ever again. I just need to let it all out for like a solid half hour to 45 minutes.
Interesting.
And then just pull back and I'm good the rest of the day, and then I don't think about it. But that's just how I am. So that 45 minutes last week that I did that about Joe, it was great.
We just had to do it to everyone on the podcast.
It was my rant, and then it's over.
So that's good.
Yeah. But like last night though, at dinner, there was a lot of Carly slander, and I went into a full-blown crying fit.
Okay, there wasn't Carly slander.
There was.
You set yourself up for it though. in our defense, it wasn't like slander. We were like all poking fun at each other, as we all do because we're family.
At each other. They were all poking fun at me, but I was sensitive because my eyes were already watering because I have a cold. And then all of a sudden I just went into full blown. No, they're watering now. Like when my nose gets like
but there's
tingly,
a difference between crying and your eyes watering.
No, when my eyes start watering, it's easy for me to go into a full blown sob. And last night at dinner, that happened, and I was full blown sobbing.
I already erased it from my mind because it was so weird what happened at dinner last night that I was like, I honestly am not kidding. When I was like, oh, what happened this weekend? What was funny? I erased it. I was like, the trauma, I have to erase that.
And nothing happened to her. It was all me.
Me, Nick, and Joe and Dad were all sitting there like, should we get up?
It was over something so stupid. I was literally saying, so Duke, this all goes back to yesterday.
Steps back.
Yesterday morning, Joe and I were walking Duke, and he was running around with another dog, and the other dog was playing a little aggressively and trying to bite him, like nip at him while they were running. And Duke wasn't looking ahead, and he was looking back at the dog because it was like kind of nipping. And Duke ran into a tree full speed.
He like bodied the tree.
Like wrapped his body around the tree. And he yelped. And then he started walking towards me. And like I put my arms around him and he like was crying and laid down in my arms. Obviously, I'm a fucking mess, like in hysterics in the park. Like, is he okay? Right. And I look up at Joe and I go, do you think he has internal bleeding? And Joe is literally like, Carly, let's go.
Joe's standing next to Carly, who's sobbing in the middle of a dog park in front of other owners, I'm sure.
No, that I was just us, yeah.
So Carly texts the family group chat, and I'll let you finish. I just want to say my perspective after this happened. She texts the group chat and she goes, oh my God. I almost said Joe just ran into a tree. Duke ran into a tree. Like, is he okay? I'm worried he has internal bleeding. And I'm like, I'm sure he's fine. He's literally wrapped his whole half of his body around our fence before, just playing fetch. I'm like, he has a rib cage for a reason. Like, he's fine. And then I went and Googled internal bleeding symptoms, screenshotted them, and said, look out for these if you're that worried. And then I got home and like nothing was. We moved on basically. And Carly was retelling the story to me. She's like, yeah, I couldn't stop crying. And I didn't say anything. I'm like, oh my God, this bitch was sobbing in the dog park.
Yeah, it's like when I think mothers would understand when their child's hurt. Maddie, don't do that. He's my child. Like, so basically at dinner, I was recapping the story and saying how I was worried that he had internal bleeding. And I was like, if anything happened to him, I would feel like a bad mother. Like it would eat away at me. If anything at 1.5 years old to Duke, like happened to him, like it would make me devastated. And so then everyone's like, Carly, you're fine. Like you're fine. And I just start crying.
Said, Carly, like,
that's dramatic.
Well, no, me and Mom both said it wouldn't be your fault if something happened to him when he was running with another dog. And then that's when Carly literally is sitting there like with her hands up by her eyes and they're welling up and we're like, and she's like, I can't even think about it. And literally bursts into a full blown sob, not like
literally
like sobbing, like.
And then Joe is like uncomfortable because he doesn't like emotion.
Me and Nick are nervous,
Maddie
laughing.
And Nick are like cringing. My mom starts crying because
God, it was. I look at my mom. She's like, "You're gonna get me going," and I'm like, "What?" And my dad is just sitting at the end of the table, like, Carly, if you. Joe also goes, you know what her solution to this is? She's going to clone Duke. Because we were like, you shouldn't have gotten a dog because unfortunately dogs don't have the same lifespan as humans. We all knew this. And Carly pretty much adopted a dog thinking, oh, dog, they live forever.
Yeah, I'm going to clone him.
You guys.
I'm going to clone him because he is the best thing that's ever happened to me and I can't imagine a life without him. So
we had 2 people full blown sobbing at the dinner table last night over a hypothetical situation. Duke was completely fine and he was walking around like, what the fuck is going on? Why is everybody crying? like everyone's like, dude, go console mommy. And he's literally like, why is she in a full blown sob? I'm standing right here. Like that.
Oh my God.
As I said before, I fully erased it from my memory because I did not know what to do in that circumstance.
Maddie's never been more uncomfortable.
Like I was obviously worried about Duke, like when you texted, because I am just a worrier, but like when I was thinking about it, I'm like, he's fine. Like if he's walking around and he's not whimpering.
Yeah, after it was just like the initial, I think he was shocked, and like seeing him cry and like kind of like collapse into my arms like that broke me. Joe was like, come on, Duke, you're fine. Let's go. And I'm literally like, he's not
When you
fine.
have children, I'm so scared for you.
I told you I'm just going to clone Duke.
God.
My mom gets grand puppies.
Well, I was saying to mom, I was like, it's like when you really hurt yourself, like you stub your toe or you like close your hand in the like car door or something. Like
you can like break fingers.
Well, yeah, but like it really fucking hurts. Like it hurts, but we don't have to go to the hospital. Like we're fine. We whimper. Like think of how many times you've hurt yourself. Also, dogs have like very, I think, dense bones because that dog's head has to be concrete at this point with how often he bangs it like on corners of tables. He's no depth perception at all.
He doesn't.
He literally will be looking one way and walking.
He has no spatial awareness. He doesn't
smacks
look.
his head, and we're like, dude.
It like has to hurt.
It has to, and it's always the corner of like a coffee table, like dead center of the noggin.
I'm like, oh, are you okay?
So this past weekend was Halloween, and honestly,
I dressed up as Alex Morgan.
Carly did dress up as Alex Morgan.
I was gonna be a sexy black cat, and then I was like, no, I want to be comfortable.
We weren't. So to preface, we weren't originally dressing up. We were supposed to have an interview that was going to be on Saturday night.
That was going to be today's podcast.
Yeah, so. And that's okay. Well, it'll happen another time. But we were like, oh, great. Like we don't have to worry about Halloween because we'll be technically working. So it's fine. It canceled last minute, like the day of. And we were like, okay, so what are we going to be? Carly's like, I'm going to be a sexy black cat. I was like, okay, do you have ears?
I had my leather pants, the ones that Maddie like shit on. So I had those. And a bodysuit.
She just had a black top and bottoms. I'm like, do you have ears? She's like, no. I'm like, okay, are you going to draw
whiskers on?
She's like, no.
I don't want to break out. So no.
So I would just going to wear black.
So I would dress as I do any other weekend.
Literally. And then I was going back and forth because I'm not a big Halloween person. Like that's not my favorite holiday. I freaking love Thanksgiving. I love Christmas. Halloween could do without.
Same.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a creative bone in my body to like actually put effort into a costume. But here's the thing. This is what I was saying the other day. If it's a themed party, I'm all in.
Yeah.
But it's like Halloween is too many options of like being whatever you want. Yeah. And it's like, no.
It's overwhelming.
If you tell me it's a Catalina wine mixer party, then I'll go all out for that Catalina wine mixer. If you tell me it's a toga party, I'll go all out with that toga. But Halloween, too many options. I'm overwhelmed. I'll crumble. I'm a black cat. Okay.
And then Carly was like, I'm Alex Morgan. She wore a Michelob Ultra soccer uniform.
Sent me like this uniform in the mail, and I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with this? And then I've gotten before that I look like Alex Morgan. It's literally just the brown hair and blue eyes. Like I don't actually look like her, but she has brown hair and blue eyes.
She's cute.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. One guy came up to me and was like, Alex Morgan? I was like, yeah. He's like, she's hot. And I was like, thank you. Was that like to me or to her? Like, I don't know.
Well, you were her. So yeah, it was you.
Thank you. I appreciate you, you little angel. He was an angel.
He was an angel.
Yeah, but from like Black Sabbath. I
have
know.
No idea. They were all just wearing dresses and we were like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I was Carol Baskin and Nick was
Joe Exotic.
It was cringy AF, and I will not be posting any photos of it.
No, you have to.
No, I can't.
I'm gonna.
I look so bad.
I'm gonna post them.
No. Well, let me send you a photo because I have a photo of us that I don't absolutely hate me in. So I'd rather you post that one. But I found my costume at Walmart. The shirt that I wore, I'm fairly certain Carol Baskin actually has it.
Yeah.
Like it was an identical replica.
Nick looked just like Joe Exotic.
he really did.
It was scary.
Like, if we have to post a photo, it's really of Nick. Nick stole the show. Like, I was standing there and someone goes, Flower Child? I'm like, no, Carol Baskin. Like, I'm wearing a size, like, XL, like, double XL, massive, like, cheetah blue butterfly paisley shirt in this, like, wrap. Like, I looked pretty horrible. It was pretty spot on, though. But Nick stole the show. Joe Exotic stole the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did that, and that was a really fun weekend. And then we did nothing yesterday.
Yeah.
Other than cry around our dinner table.
I was fragile.
Carly's fragile. So
let's get into this or that. I mean, hell yeah, hell no.
Yes. Hell yeah, hell not. So this week we haven't done a diet in a really long time.
No, but I came across this one and I was like, let's do it. And it's called the DASH diet, which is the dietary approaches to stop hypertension.
And if you don't know what hypertension is, it is high blood pressure.
So this is basically, it's marketed as healthy eating to lower your blood pressure. So it's targeting people, a specific population of people who suffer from high blood pressure and need to work on bringing it down, because with high blood pressure comes a lot of other health issues. So This diet is for that. And it includes foods that are rich in potassium, calcium, and magnesium, and they help control the blood pressure. The diet limits foods that are high in sodium, saturated fat. The diet limits foods that are high in sodium, saturated fat, and added sugars. So
yeah, the one thing that I really noticed about this one, which makes sense because sodium's really not good for high blood pressure, is it wants you to like cut your sodium in half. So usually we probably consume 2,300 milligrams a day, and they want you to do close to like 1,500 milligrams a day. Reading through it, so the way that it continues to market itself, it's just like it's heart healthy and it's all about grains, vegetables, fruit, fat-free or low-fat, dairy, lean meats, nuts, seeds, fats, oils. So it's like the only way that they're kind of marketing it as is like healthy eating. And it's like, okay, that's fine. And I feel like this one's very specific. It's kind of like when we did... Which diet was it? Not Whole30. Maybe it was Whole30 where you have to, no, paleo. Is it paleo that you cut out foods and then reintroduce them? It was Whole30. So Whole30 is like very, Carly's standing up blowing her nose right now. Whole30 is when you take out all these foods and reintroduce them slowly to see if you have like an intolerance to them. DASH diet, that like Whole30 was really specific. And I feel like DASH diet is also, it's very like specific based on, do you have high blood pressure and do you need to kind of change the way you eat in order to affect that? Because often enough, high blood pressure, it can be genetic, but it's also very often caused by your diet. Yeah. So the pros, honestly, this isn't the worst. I hate that it's called a diet, obviously, but obviously it's a change. Also, they're marketing it as a change in lifestyle, which we're like not obsessed with the way that is phrased.
Yeah.
So your throat made a noise again.
No, I made that noise on purpose.
Oh.
I was like, yuck.
Oh.
that wasn't on purpose.
Oh, I thought it was.
Or that was on purpose. For the first time ever.
For the first time ever. Last week I could actually hear it and I laughed really hard. So the pros, that there are evidence-based health benefits. So people that have tried the diet has seen success in lowering hypertension. It's accessible, it's flexible, nutritional balance designed for lifelong wellness. And it's also, unlike a lot, this one is backed by major health organizations. So there's a lot of organizations that actually say, okay, yes, this works. And I think that helps it be, okay, a little bit more credible.
Yeah. And this one is actually on the newer side. It was created in the 90s. Mm-hmm. So it
1997, I think.
Yeah, so it's as old as Maddie is, 24.
I'm 24 years old.
So basically there's more modern research with these diets, which is why, or I literally hate the word diet, but with this specific dietary plan, there's more modern research and more of like actual backed science behind the diet, instead of just like, oh, only eat carnivore, only eat vegetables, only eat grains.
The only thing, I looked up the cons of it, kind of like why would people shy away from it? Why would it not be super popular? It's hard to maintain. And I think I think with any diet, like, it's obviously not maintainable. Like, no diet's maintainable because there's still, this one has very much less restriction than most diets that we've talked about, which I like. It's really not highly restrictive. There is calorie tracking, which I totally understand on a medical side. Like, if this is something that you really need, do it, and that's fine. If your doctor says, hey, I really think you should start doing this, okay. But if you're looking to do this, this is not about weight loss. Like, this is not a plan designed for weight loss. So I feel like a lot of people that get into fad diets, and I've seen a lot of articles about it where people flip-flop from one to the other. Like, there's this woman on TikTok, she goes from like keto to calorie restricting and calorie, I forget what it's called. It's like calorie looping or something, where you go like a really high calorie day and a really low calorie, carb cycling. So like, there's multiple fad diets, and a lot of people latch onto one. Then once they plateau, which often happens, they switch to another. So this could happen with this one. Like, people will see and be like, oh, I'll try it. But it's not meant for weight loss.
No.
And it's also really not designed for everybody.
Yeah.
So if you see it and if you hear someone talking about it and they're like, oh my God, I just did this and like, I'm obsessed. Like, talk to your doctor about it, because
it's designed for people with high blood pressure and hypertension.
So probably don't do it. It's also not, there's no organized support. So it's not like
Weight Watchers.
Yeah, like that's what they compared it to. And it's like Weight Watchers is a whole other thing. But
we talked about it.
Yeah, it's different, but they don't have like specific snacks by them. They don't, it's just not as easy to maintain in that sense. Like, you can't go to anyone and be like,
the bodily functions coming out of me.
Carly's just struggling right now. So what we would probably say about this is definitely don't do it unless your doctor advises you to. Like, I don't think any doctor would really advise you to do like keto or like carnivore, any of those diets. This might be the first diet we've reviewed that a doctor might actually be like, hey,
try it out.
Yeah. Like, if you have high blood pressure, this might be for you. So unless you have that, honestly, just don't diet and go to a dietitian. If you feel like you're really struggling with finding a balance and like really fueling yourself correctly.
And we're also working to get an intuitive eating coach on the podcast, because I feel like we had one already on, but we want to dive more into actually the science and backing behind intuitive eating. So pay attention for that. That's going to be coming up. We did have someone reach out and ask about that. So
yes, intuitive eating too. I've started to kind of do it, because I don't know about you, Carly, but when and Hurley, you can chirp in too. If I like what I'm eating, it's much harder for me to stop eating it, if that makes sense. Like, if I have a really delicious meal, say like, what's your favorite meal? Hurls.
Crab rangoons.
Okay. Crab rangoons. What's yours?
Probably just pasta.
Pasta. Okay.
Very boring.
Let's say, I don't even know. I have so many favorite foods, but I'll say pasta too. So like we have this amazing dish. Carly has like 400 crab rangoons in front of her. If I'm really enjoying it, I don't have as easy as an off switch as if I'm like, I'm not obsessed with this meal, but like I'm hungry, like I'm going to eat it. So I used to, if I had it in front of me, I would just finish my plate because I'm like, oh, this is so good. This is so good. I don't care that I'm getting full. And now I've been trying to switch my mentality around it. And I'm like, okay, I really like what I'm eating, but I feel full after a half of my sandwich and some of like my sides. I'll save it for tomorrow and I can finish it then. But I don't like try to force myself to finish what's in front of me anymore, if that makes sense, which is like a part of intuitive eating.
I think I've always eaten like that. Like I just stop when I get full. Because I hate the feeling of being like full to the brim.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not like that.
I think the only way I like actually shove it down my gullet is like waffles. Like, and then like if I want hot chocolate, and then if I want like bacon, like that's like when I've felt like my fullest. But when it comes to like lunches or dinner, like I'm fine with being like, all right, I'm good.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll usually eat whatever's on my plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
And I feel like a lot of people are like that though, where they're like, we've been taught for so long, like don't waste your food.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Roger. Roger hates waste.
I think it's a dad thing.
No, the other day I ordered crab rangoons.
It is a dad thing.
At the peak of me not feeling well. I Uber Eats them to my house. My dad, what? We have food in the house. I was like, you know what? I was craving crab rangoons, Raj. Forgive me.
Raj.
So I ordered crab rangoons, but I ordered an extra side for this weekend.
So she ordered 12?
No, so I had like a meal and it came with 3 of them, and then I ordered like an extra 6 on the side. And so I ate the 3 plus 1, so I had 5 left over. And this is like a math thing. How many crab rangoons does Carly have left? So anyways, I ate whatever, the lunch and the 4 crab rangoons. And then I was saving them for the weekend. I was like, we have an air fryer. I'll heat those babies up in the air fryer when I'm craving them this weekend.
Delicious.
I come home. Guess where the crab rangoons are? They're in Roger's stomach, because you know what? He doesn't like waste, and he thought I was going to leave him sitting there for a week. And I was like, I understand, because I do take leftovers home a lot and then never eat them.
Yeah.
However, if it's crab rangoons, they're off limits.
Loophole.
They're off limits in the fridge. If I order them, if I Uber Eats them to the house, that is where I draw the line. Crab rangoons.
It's true. But I feel like a lot, like we have been taught, just in general, like even going out to eat, they're like, do you want to wrap that up? Even if you don't finish, and you're like, just because I didn't finish my meal, I feel like the pressure, you have to finish it so it looks like you ate enough. And it's like everyone's amount of enough is different.
Yeah.
So I feel like with intuitive eating, it's like taking away that little, devil on your shoulder being like, you need to finish it so nothing goes to waste, because you can always just save it and heat it up for lunch the next day. That's like my favorite thing to do with dinners, especially.
Yeah.
But we're going to do, like you said, a whole day on it. And we're going to do one on gut health too.
Same. Yeah.
So
we
have a couple of things coming up. But we posted.
So for that, it's like a hell yeah-ish for the diet, the dash.
I would honestly just say only hell yeah if you
have hypertension.
Yeah, and if you go to your doctor and that's something that is prescribed.
Well, I saw Dash diet and I thought it was like a Kardashian diet, and that's why I looked it up.
And you were like super excited about it.
And I was like, oh my God, what are they? What diet
with
are
their
they?
sugar bear hair and detox tea? They're like, oh my God.
What diet is this? So I thought it was going to be way more interesting, and then I looked up and I was like, oh, this is kind of like useful to people.
Yeah, Kim K is vegan. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't.
She's vegan.
We've never talked about being vegan.
Yeah, we definitely should. There's a lot of mixed reviews about being vegan, but I saw Kim K on TikTok because, that's my favorite resource for research. Oh. She has 2 industrial kitchens in her house, and like she obviously has a full kitchen staff. So that alone just shows it's a lot easier to be vegan.
I could be vegan too if I had
someone just cooking for me every meal.
I love a good veggie burger.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's pretty easy to make turkey burgers and chicken.
Carly's so funny.
What?
She's like, being vegan, I love a veggie burger. Like, there's so much else in being a vegan. And Carly's like,
I love
That's actually all they eat for every meal.
Yeah.
That is all I'd be able to eat, because I don't understand how they don't eat cheese. I eat American cheese by the slice.
Well, there's like vegan cheese, like cashews, milk cheese, and like, Carly, you could never.
I could literally never.
No. If your doctor was like, hey, look, you need to. And Carly's like, well,
this is my last day on earth.
She's like, I can't, I won't be able to, because I won't eat any of the things that
like. How do you enjoy Bo Sox brownie ice cream being vegan?
Well,
you don't.
You don't. Yeah, you can't.
That is.
You could make
bananas.
a vegan, like, the only qualm I have is a lot of vegan like dishes and foods have dates in them, and I don't like dates.
Oh, like the actual
like
what is it, a vegetable?
Like a fruit.
I thought you meant like it has expiration dates. I was like, I hate to break it to you, but I think normal food has that too.
All foods have that, but like they use it as a natural sweetener. They're like, throw a couple dates in there. I'm like, vomit. Those aren't sweet.
No.
They're like a prune, basically. Like, ooh.
Oh my God. Yeah, I could never.
I follow a lot of vegans on TikTok. And
nice. That was my nose. That was my nose.
Oh my God.
Bodily functions happening right now.
Things are happening over in Carly's corner. I posted question boxes on Built by Byron the other day, and we got a few.
We got a couple.
And we want to talk through a few of them because they actually are super relevant with us nearing the end of this year and also entering winter time.
Oh, yeah.
I hate winter.
So 2 different people said how to get out of a gym rut, or when you feel burned out, how do you approach off days and getting back into it? So that is where we're going to focus on. We do have an episode about this, like kind of like a year ago.
Probably a year.
Around the same time, like November.
Like one of our first couple.
Yeah. And
I think we just talked about just like motivation though, like inspiring.
And that's like what we kind of want to address now. I can say from a point of view of coming back from an injury, because that is where my rut has kind of been. And I talked about this a couple of weeks where I was like in a rut.
Yeah.
And
I feel like everyone's in a rut right now.
I think so too. I actually feel less in a rut. Like I was feeling better with my ribs, with my back, and then I got sick. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I just want to do a workout.
I think it's your body telling you like, okay, well, even though you're better, don't go full throttle.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so because I do go balls to the wall. That's my problem. I've learned though that you need to be okay when you're getting back into working out, that you're not going to PR the first time you're back. You got to be okay that you're going to be lifting lighter. You're going to be doing less cardio. You're going to be getting out of breath easier. And you have to learn how to accept that and be like, okay, this is okay. I'm going to build on this, but at least I'm starting.
Totally.
And that's my hardest thing. Equally, that is hard for me to wrap my head around. I hate feeling out of breath. I hate feeling like I'm out of shape, and that discourages me. And I'll do it once, and then I'll be like, okay, I don't want to work out for another week because I'm going to be sore for 4 days. I'm going to be out of breath again. And so that's like where the rut continues. However, when you're getting into it, you need to continue with it. So maybe make a schedule at the beginning of the week, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday this week, I'm going to work out. I'm going to do cardio on Monday. I'm going to do strength training Wednesday, and I'm going to do a little half and half on Friday. And I'm going to give myself the other days off to rest, to recover. And then maybe the next week, I'll add in a 4th day of working out.
Yeah.
So you need to approach it with grace.
Yeah. I think with ruts, I feel like I've still been in one, and it's been same thing as you. It's like, oh, I feel good today. I'm going to work out. I work out. Next day I wake up, barely can move because I'm so sore, or I'm nervous since I'm sore. I'll re-injure myself. And one thing I think with people that aren't coming back from an injury, say you were on a really good gym grind and then all of a sudden you took a week off because you had to travel.
Or life got in the way.
Yeah, life got in the way. And now you're like, oh, that week off though was freaking hella nice. Like it was so nice being out, like having the extra time, and you're not inspired anymore to go. I think with that kind of gym rut, you need to find something that excites you, like a new workout routine, a new program to follow, a new exercise, a new goal. Like, oh, I haven't done that machine, or I have not done that move yet in the gym. I want to go work on it.
Yeah.
And I think for me, at least too, and I don't know about you, Carly, like that really helps me. If I get excited about a new move or a new program or programming in the gym, I get excited.
Me too. Yeah.
So especially when you're in a gym rut like that, I challenge you to try to find maybe a workout buddy or someone to be like, hey, I'll program for you. Like, we do that, by the way.
I was going to say, we do that for a couple of our college students and a couple people who were training with us and then went abroad for a couple months.
Yeah.
We write programs for them so they can stay inspired at the gym and stuff. And if that's what you are looking to do and you're like, I don't want the personal training, I belong to a gym, but I want to spice up my routine.
Yeah.
We do that.
Yeah. Side note. And then when off days come around and like, how do you get that momentum back? That's definitely hard, I feel like, because I don't know, I feel like Sundays are always my day off.
Same.
And then on Monday, I'm like, oh, I really don't want to. Again, with the finding something new to try, I think is huge. But also just remembering that, you know, if you only do things here and there, like once every other couple of weeks, consistency is the only way you'll see progress.
Mm-hmm.
And reminding yourself that it's okay to take breaks, but if you're really striving for this goal, you do have to remain consistent.
I find that people get so frustrated because they want instant results, and I'm the same way. I eat healthy one day and I'm like, where is my six pack? You know what I mean? Like, well, I do one round of front squats. I'm like, where's my ass? Like, I thought it was going to be bigger the second it is true. You need to be consistent with it. And I'd say if you want that fat ass, go at it for 2 months, and if it doesn't happen, then get a BBL. I'm just kidding. Oh my
God, Carly.
I'm just kidding.
Literally like, holy shit.
Maddie's literally like, you're kicked off this podcast.
I'm done.
No, I'm totally kidding. I just thought that would be funny. So don't do that.
Don't do that.
If you stay consistent, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
More than 2 months. You gotta keep going. The people that I find who work with us who really, really see results after coming to us 2 to 3 times a week, they're seeing it after 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. That's when they're like, my clothes are fitting different. I'm noticing
like 3 to 5 months is like the sweet spot.
Yeah. Because 1 month isn't enough for you to see a change. But it's enough for you to be like
feel it.
Feel the strength. Yes. You're not going to see anything, but you're going to feel it. We have clients who've been working with us for like 1.5 months now.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm so freaking strong. And I'm like, I know.
Well, and they might not see immediate visual changes, but they're like, I just feel more energized. I feel more confident. I feel like, just happier in my own skin. And there's really something to be said about lifting heavy shit and being like, I'm a fucking badass. Like 100%. I am a badass. And there's this misconception that especially women like aren't meant to lift heavy. And we're trying to crack that stereotype. That's not true. And when a lot of our clients are women, when they come in and they lift really heavy, they walk out and feel unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like they can do anything.
And for example, one of our clients who's been coming to us for like 5 to 6 months now, she just went through a big move and she was like, yeah, I was able to carry everything and like not have to like ask for a ton of help because I was able to do it because I'm strong. And we were like,
hell yeah.
Yeah. Like that's the results so that's what you should be working towards and like keeping your eye on that prize. Like if you want to feel stronger, if you want to feel more energized, like in the moment when you set that alarm in the morning to get up for the gym, or if after work you're like, you have your gym bag ready, but you're like, oh, I just want to go home and make dinner. Just think of the end goal. Think of pretty much like how you're going to feel after it, because leading up to it, you're never going to be like, I'm so freaking excited. Like you have to think of how you're going to feel right after it and you're going to feel amazing.
Yeah. And like I said, if you're not feeling excited, figure out why and see if you can change it.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of our clients that walk through the door, they're like, to be honest, like I love coming here, but today I wasn't looking forward to it because I'm tired. And I'm like, I promise you'll feel better after. And they do, like you said, they always do. But yeah, just kind of figure it out. Figure out what makes you more excited to move your body.
What sets your soul on fire?
Yeah, what sets it on fire? Yeah. And then also don't feel like you have to work out every day. Just point blank. You don't have to work out every day.
Don't work out every day.
Don't worry. We're telling you don't.
Take a day of recovery, at least 1, if not 2.
If not 3. I feel like if you're working out 3 times a week and maybe walking, taking a walk, walking your dog, whatever, one of those other days,
you're doing just fine.
And that's a lot of what our clients, like most of our clients that are seeing really incredible results right now, they come 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And a lot of them, they might do one other thing on top of it, maybe not.
Or they come twice a week and then go to your circuit class for like the group fitness aspect.
Right. And
or come to my spin class.
Right. It's like 3 to 4 max. And if you're just consistent on that amount of time and that frequency, we're not telling you have to work out every day for an hour, lift and cardio and abs and everything. Like you don't have to do that. You just have to find something that works for you, that inspires you, gets you excited, and you just have to show up.
And just move your body.
Show up.
Bada bing, bada boom.
So honestly, the this or that this week is kind of on brand for what we're doing. I kind of went for a myths, like a true or false situation. Do you want to pull it up?
Yes. The first one, I have a bone to pick with you.
What?
You should stretch before you work out, because this is a trick question.
It is a trick question.
Dynamic stretching, absolutely welcomed.
Yes.
Static stretching, no.
Well, yeah, it was a trick question. So
is it true or false?
So it's true. You should. But with stretching in general, I think most people think of stretching as just like, oh, I'm going to do like a hip flexor, like a static stretch, like a forward fold. I'm going to do a hip flexor stretch. Dynamic stretching is like high knees and like karaoke and like leg
Zombie
swings
kicks,
and stuff like that. And you have to, if you're going to do a stretch before working out, you have to be doing dynamic warm-ups, because a static stretch is not going to cut it before a workout.
No.
It's most people think that you like shouldn't or should, like a lot of people think you should, but I think a lot of people think it's static stretching versus dynamic.
So that's the only reason why I was like, oh, so why'd she put this? Because if people are going to say true because they think it's static.
Yeah, but that's why I want people to listen and be like, oh shit, dynamic.
I hope they all listen.
I hope they all listen. 200 of you better freaking listen up.
All right. So 135 people said true, and then 30 people said false. And I'm guessing the people who said false were probably in on the dynamic stretching.
Maybe, but dynamic stretching still has the word stretch in it.
Yeah, I didn't even vote that one because I didn't know what to answer. I'm like, if I didn't know what you meant by it. So,
well, that's the one question. Like that's obvious. That's why it's posted.
Lifting will make you bulky. False.
False. So it's the one of the worst like fitness myths out there. And unfortunately, as trainers, I've experienced this question
from everyone
so many times. And it's because I think we're like taught that it's going to make you bulky as you grow up as a female. They're like, well, you don't want to lift too heavy because you might look kind of bulky. And I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah.
You mean I'll look stronger? Like, so I think people get weightlifting, like lifting and
but
functional
I also
fitness.
think that has to do a lot with CrossFit too, because people will see like CrossFit bodies and they'll be like, oh, they lift really heavy, so that makes them bulky.
And it's, well, I think they're confusing like powerlifting.
Yes.
And like just functional fitness and weight, like lifting weights.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Because people will see people who like do CrossFit and they're like, well, they're really strong.
Shredded.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I just don't want my arms to get too big. And like,
my thigh.
Like bodybuilders, that's what people are thinking. Like people look at a bodybuilder and they're like, well, they lift weights. And like, honey, they lift like 450 pounds deadlift off the ground.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
What day of
Your
the week?
65 pounds isn't going to do that to
I
you.
was like, what day of the week are you ever going to have to deadlift 425 pounds? Never. Like what we do is functional fitness to make you stronger and live your life easier, not that. So it is false. It's going to make you stronger and your muscles maybe become more apparent, but it's not going to like, your muscles not going to like grow on top of each other. And like your body's still your body. So based on your build's not going to change like crazy if you start lifting weights. Next question.
164 people said false. 5 people said true.
I love that energy.
Osteoporosis is only found in older people.
What did you say?
I said true.
That's false.
I didn't realize.
Damn, Kaka. So I'm glad you said true, because I feel like this one was definitely one of like the most.
Curly, what'd you say?
I said false. I don't know. It just kind of seemed like it was getting at that.
Yeah, I know. But look at this list of people who said true.
Damn. Yeah, no, like, so osteoporosis is just the deterioration of like your bones and the weakening of your bones. And if you don't load your bones, like if you're a sedentary individual, you can develop osteoporosis before the age of like 50. Like, and it's more common in elderly people, because obviously as you age, a lot of people end up moving less. But that's why as you age, it's more important to lift and do resistance training.
All right.
Yeah.
148 said false. 6 people said true. Wait, I wasn't on there.
Did you not vote?
I did vote. I don't know. Okay, next one. Muscle weighs more than fat.
So this one actually, how many people said true?
142.
So I read about this and I was like, shit, I did not even think of it this way. Muscle does not weigh more than fat because a pound of muscle and a pound of fat are the same. Obviously, 1 pound of feathers is 1 pound of bricks. Duh. Which it changes the way you think about it, right? Because you're like, fuck, how have I been thinking about this whole time? So muscle is denser than fat. So
if you have more muscle, it's going to weigh more
than fat.
Yes. But if you have the same amount of muscle and the same amount of fat, they're going to weigh the same. Yeah, I get that.
And it's honestly, I felt like this one would be kind of like mind blowing for a lot of people.
I just literally had
like a little literal like holy shit, because that's what we've been told.
Yeah.
Our whole like,
oh, don't worry about it. Muscle weighs more than fat.
Yeah, don't worry. And it still stands. Like when people are like, but I see no change in my, like for people that weigh themselves and rely on that, like to see a number on the scale, which I don't like doing for myself, but everyone's different. If they're not seeing that change, the reason behind that could be because muscle is denser. And when you're building that extra muscle and losing fat, that increase in volume of muscle in your body can outweigh that loss in fat, if that makes sense. So I think it's super cool because majority thought it was true.
Yep.
But they are the same. Just one is denser than the other.
Got it. 142 for true, 20 for false. Last but not least, lactic acid is what makes muscles sore.
True.
True, James.
So lactic acid is
the lactic buildup in your muscles.
Yeah. So when you do really, really high intensity stuff, it builds up and that's what makes you sore. And the best way to deal with lactic acid buildup is actually foam rolling, Theragun. I like to cup as well. And that's going to help recovery. So I just know in swimming, like we would do lactate sets, which were meant to build up as much possible lactic acid in your body at once.
Ask me how much I hated that practice.
I loved them. They were my favorite.
I
like sprinting. I like having to.
But when we did 200s, like that was the worst ever.
Think about it this way. You walked into a practice and like by the time I got to swim, they're like, all right, you have 20 minutes to warm up. Do whatever you want. I would just like fuck around. I'd like do some dolphin kicks underwater and be like, okay, I'm warm.
No, I hated it.
Because I hated getting the water, being told I had to swim for 2 hours straight and then get out. And I was like, what? And this one, at least I'd be able to get out, putt around.
Yeah, no.
And only have to swim like 8 100s really, really fast. But that's all I had to do. Yeah. 800 yards.
Yeah, but it was like at full speed.
Yeah. And they took all your times and like where everyone was watching you.
Yeah, no. And they would always put me up against my roommate. And we were both backstrokers. And she was a phenomenal backstroker. She was really good. And she, so I would just like feel pressure and then we'd go home and there'd be like tension in the house. My God, yeah. And I was like...
Lactate practices did often cause tension because it'd be like, how the fuck did she go that fast?
Yeah, in practice. I'm like, she definitely wasn't trying like during this set yesterday because she went way too fast today because I was beating her in the set yesterday. Like literally.
Swimming is
mental.
Wild,
but 136 people said true and 18 said false. And that concludes the episode for today, friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. We haven't gotten a rate or a review in a very long time. It'd be really nice if you listen and you love it and you leave a little cute, fun, flirty review.
Maybe
rating.
The next 4 new reviews. New 4 reviews.
Gets a BBB beanie?
Yes.
We'll buy you a BBB beanie. Wow, why can't I say that?
If you want a beanie, and Hurley, I don't see any reviews from you on our thing.
Well, I mean, I got to stay indifferent to all my podcasts.
Or you just have to rate and review all of them.
I could, yeah.
I once did that one day. I went through everyone's podcast here and I left a review and a 5-star rating.
Well, how about that?
Isn't that so
Our
nice of
own
me?
producer hasn't even reviewed ours.
Has Nick?
no.
Has Joe?
Obviously not. I don't think they even have an Apple Podcast
App.
login.
Yeah.
But the next 4 people, 1, 2, 3, 4, you have to DM us a screenshot. And I'm sorry if you already have
Left a review
you.
or disqualified. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
You can still DM us
How
for
about,
that.
How about for a different thing? All the people who already left us a review gets put into a.
How about they have to repost an episode?
Oh.
If you repost an episode,
Yep.
we'll throw you all into a raffle to
Yes.
win a beanie. But the next 4 new people to leave a review, you get a beanie. Bada bing, bada boom.
Or you can do it on your mom's phone if you've already left one.
Oh, yeah.
Or your brother's.
Yeah, just
or
steal your boyfriend's, your girlfriend's,
Yes, literally.
your cat's phone. I don't know, your little brother's phone. I don't really care. Just log in, leave a raving review.
It's got to be 5 stars.
Got to be 5.
All right. And
right.
so that's all for today, folks.
Have a great week, and we'll see you next time on Eat the Damn Cake.
Bye.
Bye.